About 5, 6, 7 years ago, the game industry was primarily, musically speaking, was primarily comprised of in-house audio guys who happen to be musicians. And it's a bit of a silly analogy, but can you imagine, again, if this was Paramount Pictures or this was Warner Brothers Pictures and we did a film, a $50, $75, $100 million film, and 8 weeks in a post, we said, oh my God, we don't have any music. Hey, go get John. He plays guitar sometimes. Go see if he can throw something together so we can just have some music in here. It sounds silly, but it's pretty much the way it was. What we decided to do 5 years ago, because this industry was running around constantly saying how much bigger we were than the film industry, I kept saying it was time to start sounding bigger than the film industry, or at least sounding as big as the film industry. So we handle our hiring composers and our recording of scores exactly the same as the film industry. There's no such thing as a video game composer to me. There's great composers, there's average composers, there's lousy composers. We seek to hire great composers no matter what medium they come from. Michael Giacchino started in this space. He actually started in Medal of Honor. He was an interactive composer, went on to do Lost, Alias, Mission Impossible 3. He's doing scores for me now. He's back. He's a great composer, no matter what medium he's scoring against. We've had composers like Trevor Jones and Bill Conti, who have dozens and dozens and dozens of amazing films in their filmography, have done scores here. We have guys like Sean Callery, who does 24 on TV, an amazing composer, has done game scores for us. So it doesn't matter what the background is. The bottom line is we do it exactly the same. We look at the property, we look at the type of music that needs to go into that property, we look at various composers, we look at the personality of the composers, we look at their willingness and understanding of the medium, their eagerness, and many times their eagerness is very high, even if they've never done a game before. And we hire them based on that. We'll go in and we will record with the same orchestras on the same stages that a huge film will do. We've recorded on the Fox stage here in L.A., and we've recorded on the Sony stage here in L.A., and the Paramount stage, and so on and so on. We've recorded a bunch of things like the last Bond we did in Harry Potter we'll do with the London Symphony Orchestra in London at Air Studios. And, and sometimes you go union, sometimes you go non-union. That's the sort of same dilemma that the film industry goes through. But the bottom line is there's no difference in the quality. There's no difference in the quality of musicianship, no difference in the quality or level of composer. The only difference, which is a major difference, is the way the score is written. Because, again, a score is not a linear score. It doesn't have an A, B, C, D, E. It's written in stems. So it could be 70 minutes, 90 minutes of music, and you will never hear the same score twice. No matter where you are in the gameplay, that affects where the score goes. And many guys who have been making films for their whole life love the idea of that. They think it's just an interesting, really cool new way to compose music, knowing that everybody has a choice as to the inevitable outcome of that score. So I think that has had a lot to do with the fact that we've attracted some of the biggest names there are in this town and in Europe when it comes to, composers. Aside from the fact that if they're young, they play games, and if they're older, if they don't play games, their kids play games, and it's a relatively cool thing for them to do.